This man makes his son come home before dark every single day. If his son gets home even 1 minute late, he immediately starts yelling at him.
You're late!
As soon as the father and son rush inside, they instantly lock every door and window in the house. They carefully check everything over and over, making sure there isn't even the smallest gap left open. Only after confirming the house is completely sealed do they finally sit down and eat together. They're this nervous and cautious because once night falls, the outside world no longer belongs to humans. At first, the day had been pretty peaceful, but that night, their dog suddenly went crazy and started digging furiously at the floor. The father and his 2 sons instantly sensed something was wrong, and the whole family tensed up. They all knew that ordinary monsters only crash around wildly. They don't quietly test things like this. Whatever had come this time was different. The father and son immediately split up. Kaiji grabbed a weapon and stayed back to provide cover. His son Thomas grabbed a flashlight and headed downstairs to check things out. Neither of them dared make a sound. They were terrified of alerting whatever was outside. Thomas searched downstairs and found nothing unusual. Just as everyone was about to relax, a sudden banging sound came from outside the door. The knocking had a pattern to it. It wasn't random at all. That confirmed their suspicion. This monster was intelligent. Kaiji and Thomas quickly pressed themselves against the door and held it shut with all their strength. Neither of them said a word. The only sound was the shaking of the door. The quieter it got, the scarier it became. Every second kept everyone on edge. After a while, the monster finally left. The danger was gone for now. The next morning, as soon as the sun came up, they checked the door that had been attacked the night before. The entire door was covered in claw marks. The reinforced wooden boards had been chewed open, leaving a hole behind. And inside the hole were countless bugs. Turns out the monsters didn't just smash into doors. They used bugs to slowly eat away at them and secretly weaken the house. Only then did Kaiji realize something. Hiding inside the house forever wasn't a long-term solution. Sooner or later, the monsters would break through. He had to teach his children how to survive in the wild. Otherwise, if the house ever fell apart, they'd be easy prey outside. At the end of the day, what keeps you alive isn't a strong house, it's your own abilities. To teach his kids survival skills, Kaiji started teaching the brothers how to drive. Then he sent them to an abandoned cargo ship by the beach to gather supplies. He wanted the brothers to work together, strengthen their bond, and improve their survival skills. But the 2 brothers had completely different personalities. Thomas only cared about sneaking off to the neighboring farm to see his girlfriend Mia. He didn't care about gathering supplies at all. Joey, the younger brother, was obedient and went to the cargo ship alone. On one side was Thomas enjoying a warm moment with his girlfriend. On the other side was Joey risking his life alone while searching the ship for supplies. But unfortunately, luck wasn't on his side. The cargo ship was completely empty, with no useful supplies anywhere. Instead, he accidentally discovered a monster nest. He ran for his life and got swarmed by a bunch of bugs along the way. After barely making it out alive, the car suddenly broke down. The sun was about to set, and once darkness fell, the monsters would come out. Joey was panicking, but he didn't lose his cool. He quickly figured out what was wrong with the car. After fixing it, he rushed home before nightfall. Meanwhile, Thomas had been spending so much time with his girlfriend that he completely forgot about the time he promised to meet his brother. On his way home, he accidentally fell into a massive crack in the ground and got knocked unconscious. He completely missed his chance to get home, and danger was already closing in. Joey arrived at the meeting spot right on time and waited for a long time, but Thomas never showed up. With no other choice, he had to drive home alone. After getting home and asking around, he realized Thomas was missing. Kaiji didn't blame Joey, and he didn't hesitate for a second. He immediately went out alone to search for his son. Before leaving, he told Joey to make sure every door and window was locked and to protect the house. Kaiji's back looked steady and determined. He didn't say anything heroic, but it was obvious that for his son, he was willing to risk everything. Thomas woke up inside the crack. The moment he looked around, panic hit him. The crack was dozens of feet deep, and there was no way to climb out. On top of that, he could hear monster noises nearby. It was obvious something was out there. He pulled out his flint and used its weak light to search for a way out, but a monster had already locked onto him. Suddenly, one of the monsters lunged forward and grabbed his head. Thomas struggled with everything he had, but he couldn't break free. Just when he was about to be eaten alive, Kaiji arrived in time. He stabbed the monster with a knife and saved Thomas. They were too exhausted to make it back home overnight, so the father and son hid inside a small cave, blocking the entrance with rocks and waiting for sunrise. Meanwhile, Joey stayed up all night guarding the house. He was so exhausted that he accidentally forgot to close the peephole cover. That mistake gave the monster an opportunity. The monster shoved its claws through the peephole and tried to grab Joey. Luckily, it couldn't reach him. Just when everyone thought something terrible was about to happen, the story suddenly took a turn. This was actually Joey's plan all along. He intentionally wanted to lure a monster inside and capture one alive. He wanted to find out what its weakness was.